Hi, my name is Michael Chesworth and I'm the Acting CEO of Murrindindi Shire Council. Thanks for tuning in to Council's video update for Sunday the 18th of October. In today's video, I'll run through the daily figures in terms of coronavirus cases, and I'll also provide a summary of the key announcements made by the Premier earlier today, many of which will be in place from 11:59 p.m. tonight. In the last 24 hours, there have been just 2 new cases of coronavirus in Victoria, bringing the total number of active cases to 137. I'm pleased to report there have been no new deaths. There are now 12 Victorians in hospital, and again, I'm pleased to say none of the 12 in hospital are currently in intensive care. Over 2,944,356 tests have been conducted since the beginning of the pandemic, with 18,546 more test results received since yesterday. There are no new cases at all in regional Victoria, so that leaves us with a total of 7 active cases in regional Victoria. There are 4 cases in Mitchell Shire and 3 in Greater Shepparton, and these numbers have remained steady for several days. I'm pleased to say there are still no active cases in the Murrindindi Shire. For regional Victoria, the rolling 14-day average is sitting at 0.5 cases, and for metropolitan Melbourne, the average is 7.5. Today, the Premier Daniel Andrews announced some welcome easing of restrictions for both regional Victoria and Metro Melbourne. Some of these steps will take effect at 11:59 p.m. tonight, and others on the 1st of November. From 11:59 tonight, in regional Victoria, 2 adults and their dependents are allowed to visit another home once per day. Hospitality venues can increase numbers to 70 people outside and 40 people inside. For inside, this means they can have 4 groups of 10 instead of 2 groups of 10. Outdoor religious gatherings will increase to 20 people, and I'm pleased to say that libraries will be allowed to reopen with a limit of 20 people. An entire household, rather than just one person, will be allowed to visit those in care facilities like hospitals. And additionally, from 11:59 on the 1st of November in regional Victoria, non-contact indoor physical recreation and community sport for under 18-year-olds will be allowed, with limits on numbers and spectators still in place. Importantly, the restrictions which stop travel for non-essential reasons between Metro Melbourne and regional Victoria remain in place. I know there are a number of people who live in metropolitan Melbourne but have property in the Murrindindi Shire who are concerned about preparing those properties for flood and the forthcoming fire season. The Premier confirmed today that there is no change to the current restrictions on travel between metropolitan Melbourne and regional Victoria, as the priority is to ensure regional Victoria stays relatively COVID-free. However, there will be a process in place from Wednesday which will allow people who live in metropolitan Melbourne to travel to regional Victoria if they are issued with a fire prevention notice by Council. A fire prevention notice legally requires you to take action to reduce the fire risk on your property, and if you are sent a notice, it will be a lawful reason to travel to regional Victoria. As we receive more information from the Victorian Government about the framework which will allow this as a reason to travel, we'll keep you updated. Please note that this permission will only extend to managing your property for fire or flooding reasons. The Premier emphasised there will be even more checkpoints between metropolitan Melbourne and regional Victoria, and please remember, if you don't have a lawful reason to travel between metropolitan Melbourne and regional Victoria, you could be liable for a fine of just under $5,000. And of course, the rules that apply to residents of metropolitan Melbourne continue to apply to them when they visit regional Victoria. For metropolitan Melbourne, a range of restrictions will be eased from tonight, including the removal of time allowed for exercising outside the home and the distance you can travel from your homes, which has gone from 5 to 25 kilometres. Residents of metropolitan Melbourne will again be able to play tennis, use a skate park, conduct real estate inspection, head to an outdoor pool, and most importantly for many, get a haircut. The Premier did hold out additional hope for easing restrictions before the 1st of November, but emphasised that much would depend on the nature of the cases in coming days, as well as the actual case numbers. If there are both low case numbers and a degree of certainty about the causes of those cases, the Premier and Chief Health Officer might be in a position to bring forward some more easing of restrictions next weekend. You've all done a great job in keeping the number of cases in our Shire really low. Well done to the whole community. This is continuing to be a whole community effort and it's greatly appreciated. And there is cause for optimism about further easing of restrictions in the lead up to Christmas, a so-called COVID normal Christmas. As we have done in past months, we need to continue to play our part in observing the restrictions in place so that we can enjoy a well-deserved break at the end of the year. Well, that's all from me. I will provide further updates as more details on these easing of restrictions becomes known. Thanks for watching and stay safe.